So, I haven't streamed Final Fantasy XIV in a while, and I realize you're looking at a "Be Right Back" screen. But I figured this time I'd wait for the tweet to go out and the messages go out. You can see the Stream Elements message just popped up. I want to make sure the notices are take a few minutes. I mean, not that I have a whole lot of people just chomping the bit for content. Um, the champion, chomping the bit, stamping grounds. Yes. Okay. Um, but I figured, since the audience is kind of small, it doesn't hurt me to wait a little bit and see if anyone shows up or so forth. And in a playback, you can always fast forward past to when the content starts. So, like I said, we'll just wait for this to get going a little bit and wait for the notifications to pop up and such. So, like the intro says there, working on the overlay a little bit. Not really the overlay so much, because, well, there's something we'll bring up in a little bit about that. But mostly because I had an idea. Now, this could be good, this could be bad. Other people probably tried this, and smarter people than me have decided it's probably a bad idea. But I'm going to try it anyway, or at least give it a once over while we're sitting here. But like I said, I'll get into that once we switch back to the content. We are playing 14 today, or I'm playing 14, and if you're watching this, you're watching 14. But you could be playing 14 as well while you're watching this. Possible to do two things, sometimes more. So, okay, I just saw the pop up there. Maybe you even heard the beep, the boop boop, the Discord boop. Yep, the Discord boop came through. So anyway, let's switch over to the content. This is 4 minutes in. So basically, as you can see here, we're looking at Final Fantasy XIV. Actually, we're looking at my character in Final Fantasy XIV in the, I guess, Moonfire attire for this year, which actually looks pretty nice. I gotta say. I mean, normally it's just like a bikini or something, but the overshirt with the sandals. Okay. And even got the thing so you could actually, I know that none of the clothes actually change, but the way this shirt is designed, it looks like you could untie it from the back, close the front, and tie the front, kind of like a small robe, pajama shirt. I'm not sure what you do with that, but it's a nice outfit, with the diamond patterns, the diamond tracing. Anyway, it's nice. So anyway, I was wearing that while I was doing the island stuff, because I figured, you're out on this tropical island. Why not wear a tropical island outfit? So, like some places, there's a pet, a capture, a fee. Pet. We'll do pet, because we can. We like petting things. Happy animals. Happy animals are cool. All animals look happy. Probably craft some food for them. I only have 4 animals, though I have expanded this once, so I probably could have more. I only have the ability to trap, corral, obtain small animals at this point. I thought there was like a button. Button. Pet button, there's a gather button. Okay, so can you gather from these guys? You can, I guess. That's why they're sparkly, I suppose. Oh, and the sprint out on the island is like I don't know why they didn't make it a toggle, because the refresh of sprint is less than its duration. So Isle sprint should just be a toggle. Honestly, that's something they probably need to fix if they're gonna do. It's on off. Just because if I hit sprint, sprint comes back before sprint runs out. As you can see by the timer here, sprint runs out in like 20 seconds, but sprint comes back in like 5. So it's possible to be perpetual sprint as long as you keep pressing the button. Why not just make it a toggle? Can I make food? I'll make food for him and feed him. Feed. I got lots of apples. That's the only stuff. So I'll make Add that. Wow, 12. Each one makes 3 servings? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, that was good. Let's go to feed mode. Let's feed the animals. Oh, I gotta choose a feed type. So let's feed the animals. Stuff is good. Anyway, so yeah, about the island. Yes, so done a little bit on the island. Basically got to the island, unlocked the island, built the original cozy cabin, which then has been upgraded once, and 1 workshop. I'm at the point now where I can choose my first landmark. Yeah, the cozy cabin 2, which is down here. I have an empty plot. Cropland. I had some pumpkins last I looked. But yeah, I got the landmark vacant plot. So that's what we got here, and I can review that. So I can make a windmill or a towering tree fort. No matter which one I start now, I still need to collect things for it actually, so I can go out and do that while we're talking. It won't be done until tomorrow, or early tomorrow morning. Let's switch over to gather mode. I guess that allows you to choose how you. Wow, I didn't see this. This is nice. Wow. Is that one of those waterfalls you dive off of in all the island movies? That actually looks real sweet. Yeah, I mean, and nobody's out here to pester you. It's kind of nice. Oh, we can plant more stuff, but all I found so far is pumpkin seeds. I'm gonna leave these open just in case we find any other kind of seeds, to be honest, if we progress that far. Anyway, getting distracted. So the idea behind the stream here is we got a couple things going on. I'm actually playing on an ultra widescreen monitor, but I'm only streaming the center HD 1920 by 1080 widescreen. Well, technically 2550 by 1440, whatever that 16:9 ratio is from the center. And that really has well, okay, the benefit to it is I can have crap off to the side that you guys can't see, off to this side here. So I don't have to have my UI elements under the chat window messing up chat, so you can see chat. It allows for a more clean, I guess it's more of a, you guys get to see the view of what's going on, where I get a little more peripheral vision and can put my menus off to the side where they're not in the way. So it looks like you guys are getting a full empty view, which you are, of HD in the middle, where I can take care of business on the side, and I get to see a little more on the sides. I think cutscenes are somewhat centered, so this will almost give you like a zoomed version of the cutscenes, which could be kind of cool. Oh, we were actually making something. I don't know if we bothered to make anything. If anything got made, I don't even know how. Yeah, well, and I've let Omega F loose because she's pretty much one of my favorite minions. I don't know. That heavy-lidded Sundari. Oh, we made money. Hey, made a little money. Not a ton. But hey, XP. XP is actually a thing. Yeah, that was kind of neat. A little money, XP. Basically, we need to see what this guy wants to go farther. What do you need to go farther? Right set of tools. So I can make more of these. I can just keep making this until he just keeps unlocking stuff. And I need to go out and gather stuff anyway. But for when he says he needs a team, also that is... I don't have any inventory. Also that means... that's money. That's the money part. That's the... Seafarers' cowries, I think. Because we haven't found any islanders' cowries. I think we get those by, like, exporting stuff. Wait, back... Getting distracted. So yes, you guys get your little view here in the middle. I might move some of this stuff over to the side, like the things here. Move a bit over to here, because as you can see, the chat's kind of. I stopped the chat window before it got here. The chat's not in the way. So, and also like some streams, I don't have to block chat. So some people block chat for privacy's sake and all that, and I get that because you don't want people. Some people want to bug the streamer or bug the streamer's friends or whatever. I don't have that kind of popularity, but I don't want to completely dismiss that somebody might just want to be an ass and bother me and my friends because I said something wrong or did something wrong or wore the wrong outfit or something. Uh, so yeah, so that takes care of that possibility. And not that most of my friends, I mean, if they're playing with me, I try to get them into voice chat anyway. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to discount, just because I'm okay with it, doesn't necessarily mean every one of my friends would be okay with it. So that gives them the option of being as open or as closed they want with their themselves, their character, their play style, whatever. So I mean, I also need to move. I go over here. You can see I've got the white mage gauge. I'll move that gauge over here where you can actually see that because that's part of combat. You can see that build up and such. But the map you probably don't really need to see. You don't need to see my quest stuff. You don't need to see my the buttons little button menus I made for all my friends menu and mounts and all that stuff. Mostly it's just you want to see what I'm doing here, the special stuff here, how the squad has the group, and I'm doing HP wise. So honestly, I think it pretty much shows everything. Now you might want to see the island menu, so I can move the island menu over. You can see what we're doing on the island. That's fine. I didn't catch a monkey. I don't like them so much. Or what do they call those? Something with a P or an M. What are they? Oh no, we're not calling anything. Capture. Opos. I don't like the opos that much personally. So, so you notice from like some plants like sugarcane, you think we'd get like sugar, but it seems like we have to progress in our island skill in some way. Because when we first time went after the trees, we could just get branches. Now that we have a tool, we can get branches and logs. So some things have names that would imply that you would get other resources from them in addition to like just the very basics. Like, yeah, sugarcane, you could make vines out of it by the lashings and it's bambooish. I get that. But you think you'd also get sugar. Maybe I don't have the skill to get the sugar out of it. So it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a wasted resource right now, but I'm not getting all the sub resources, I suppose. Like I was getting stone from here. Then once I made a hammer, now I get stone and limestone. So as you progress in your tools and your skills, you can get more specific resources, which makes sense. There's a difference between like getting, I guess, just rocks that you could bang together or build like walls out of, and using that type of rock, like say it was, like in this case limestone, or say it was had an ore in it or something, and as you became better at refining resources. So, as I said, we've pretty much, if I can grab our map here, I guess, I don't know, let me see if the map comes up. Map. So, you see your usual Final Fantasy map here, your Final Fantasy map. You see a couple things I haven't opened, I guess, or got finished out. So I guess I need to get down in this area to unlock this one, and get over to this area to unlock this one, and then get up to, I guess, near and in the volcano to finish out the, I guess, the map exploration. Something ONNAMED. This is the island. That's a D. That's an A. So A. S. There's no. That's not S. I'm sure there's someone who can translate that off the top of their head. I always have to like squint at it and see what it looks like in English, because that's kind of what a lot of maps do. They look kind of like things in English. So yeah, so we're just gathering basic resources. Cause see, here's like wild Popoto, right? You think, oh wow, I can get Popoto seeds, right? No, I just get Islewort. So I guess I'm not good enough to get the seeds out of that. Also, there are bigger animals to get. Here's some axe beaks. I also saw some big beefaloes out somewhere. So yeah, so there are definitely bigger animals to subdue. But anyway, as I was, so there's all kinds of plants over there, and they look like cotton, right? Cotton plants. But I'll just get mugwort because all I can really do is harvest. I don't have the skill to harvest cotton from these things. Just mostly just. See if I go here. We'll get again Islewort. So, and here's a list of things we found. Gathering logs. You can see there's some things we have not. A lot of things we haven't figured out yet. But now where we are, what I was coming down here for, is this about the only place in the island that I have found copper ore. And that's in like this path that goes down around the side of the island here. It's a bluish crystal, which is, if I recall, that is what, when copper oxidizes, it becomes bluish. So, this parsnip, you think, hey, I can find part. No, just Islewort. So, yeah, and none of the animals are aggressive, and you can come out here as soon as like level 1, if you can get to the place where this opens up. Which maybe it's multiple places, and I just happen to catch it at a particular one. So yes, I'm going here looking for copper oxide crystals, which start here-ish. You go around this end. Something else new in the news area, in addition to me trying to make this this idea here work. I know a lot of people don't necessarily track on our Discord, but a lot of what I've been putting up there is about my my trip to Emerald City Comic Con last week. It ran last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And though I hadn't planned it, my brother and I, we went all 4 days. The idea was to go like, oh, we'll go Saturday and Sunday, or we'll go Friday and Saturday, the big days, and check it out. But yeah, I'm a simp, and I just had to keep going back because there were I wanted to look for more artist stuff. I wanted to look for more stuff at the show floor. I wanted to see more of the cosplay, and there was some pretty impressive stuff. There was a movie Deadpool that was just so dead on. I think it might have actually been Ryan Reynolds down from Vancouver. It was that good. What else? I got lots of bunch of artwork, and in my personal stuff, I've been following Hololive Ian, the first English generation. I guess Hollow Myth as opposed to Hollow Council, which I like them both. But Hollow Council was the first one. Gur was the first one of that, and then the rest of them started to come out. And so I've been, I guess I've chosen Ina as the one I follow because quiet artist, playing the priestess. So that's the one I just pretty much chose. So I got a lot of Ina art. Had some made. Got some stuff up on my wall now. That type of thing. Maybe I'll get some pictures in, or if you want to come by the Discord, there's pictures there. But 2 big things happened while I was out there. Since I finally got to, if you've been following my rants and ramblings and such, sometimes you'll know that I've had a lot of difficulty finding a pixel artist or a composer to make art assets and music assets for my channel, the Cribdus Games channel, which is pretty much right now just me and Mofi when she wants to. And so while I was out there, I was able to find both of those things. There's actually a place, or I guess a company called Off the Beaten Path, which is based in the UK, and they do a lot of they'll do like custom music for your channel. They'll do custom music for your tabletop game. Say you want some kind of boss music to go with this epic thing you got planned, and they'll do a whole bunch of they'll compose a whole bunch of stuff for you. And it, they did some stuff. They played some examples for me. One of which was very Final Fantasy 14. It was, it had that background. The way they're doing 14 now, it had that background of like guitar behind some epic fantasy music, just like they're really doing it on 14 now. Like if you've heard the primals, or if you went to a Final Fantasy Fan Fest and heard the primals and the guys in person, or you're like, yeah, it's like fantasy with that hard rock background, and it was very good. Very much in the style of Final Fantasy 14. That's not necessarily what I was looking for, but it showed me that they could emulate a game style like that well. So I had no problem dropping a deposit. Actually, I just paid for the thing outright because I'm that certain that I think they could do something great for us. So I had no problem doing that. And I got one of their, they actually had a package set up for, they'll do a 30-second loopable intro and a 30-second loopable outro for your channel. So I wrote a bunch of, the way I wanted it to sound, and I sent it to them, and I haven't heard, because of the time difference, of course, by the time I sent it, the night I got back, they probably didn't see it till, like, the next day for them, which would be the next night for me. Because, being Eastern, that's what, EMT minus, or Eastern is GMT minus 4 or 5, depending on the time of year. So, they didn't get till the next day. That's the problem. So, basically, I went over and I'm like, look, I'm looking for something like a couple things, or a couple aspects I'm really looking for. For the intro music, I'm probably looking for something like the title music that you would get sitting at like a Dragon Warrior or a early Final Fantasy, early Dragon Warrior title screen. Something inspirational, something that starts. I pull out what little music knowledge I had. I actually used the term pianoforte. Soft going into loud. Inspirational. Definitely horns. Something that it would make you feel like I want to get up out of my little village and go out and help save the world. That was really the theme I'm going for. And then the outro theme can be, or we not necessarily do an outro theme. We could use the second theme for like battle music or something like for while Do Not Disturb is going on that you'd hear when you brought up like the menu screen or something during a battle. That type of thing. That was the concept I tried to convey to them, using my limited ability to describe things without comparing them to other things. Because like sure, I'm like sure, do me some Final Fantasy 1, intro title music. But, somebody who hasn't played Final Fantasy before, they would have to go out and listen to them all and guess what aspects that I liked. So I try to use more non-relational words, not words that relate to other, not using a bunch of examples and hope they pull out what I want, or are able to find the commonalities that I heard when they were listening. So, I think that's going to go well. Like I said, I was impressed by the music. And impressed by how they picked up the style of 14. So I was certain that they'll be able to pick up the style of 1 through 6 or the early Dragon Quests and come up with something, like I said, again, inspirational. Something that makes you want to work together with other people to do something. Because you've got the Final Fantasies and the Dragon Quest, and you've got that soft melodies and not even strings, but usually like woodwinds and other like flutes and other woodwinds, sweeping people together and themes together into not necessarily a march. I'm not sure what's a good kind of like a march is what I got in my head, but more of a confluence of individual themes, people coming together to save the world. That was the idea. And they're like, and they actually asked me, they're like, okay, if you could describe this, what's your story? What are you trying to, I'm like, look, what I'm looking for is, hey, we're here, pack your shit up, get your stuff ready, we're gonna go save the world. Come on, let's go. Together. So maybe that's kind of childish or immature or naive or whatever, but that's fine. We'll go with that. So that was just half of it. That's just the music part. Then there was the artist I found, and it was funny because I went there. I went there Thursday, and most people were set up. There were some people that weren't set up yet, and I could not find a single pixel artist, a person who was selling commissions or had large amounts of work done in a pixel style. Now, what someone I did find, and I still need to go back to, was someone who actually makes 3D models of pixel art. And I already have a 2B one of these, and it's great. My brother got that for me a couple of years back. Um, but they will take like characters from early games, like say Final Fantasy One. You've got the 2D sprite version of the White Mage, and they'll layer that in a way, in a 3D kind of way, kind of like, I don't know. I guess if you ever watched the movie with Adam Sandler called Pixels, I guess how those characters came out of video games into life in 3D versions of themselves, uh, but with less cheesy acting, I suppose. I mean, not that Pixels was a bad movie, but there were some characters that were like, you know, I guess we're not meant to take it seriously. It's so maybe that's my problem. It's I'm not saying it's a bad movie. You probably watch it. Probably a good movie. I think if you like nostalgia in arcade games, if you like that episode of Futurama where Fry saves the world with his video game ability, imagine a 2-hour movie of that. So um, I think you'll like that, or whoever. I think most people probably like that in hey, that was cute kind of way. Um, it almost reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Galaxy Quest in a way. I guess maybe that's the background theme of that. Uh, people get back together after their heyday. There was still a little um, unresolved conflict from back then, and they get a chance to save the world, sort through it, and come out better people. I think that's probably a good. You could probably put that in any amount of any different theme, and that would come out okay. But in this case, it's about old arcade games, whereas Galaxy Quest it was about Star Trek. So yeah. Um, so anyway, uh, that was only half of it. Yeah. So anyway, I could not find a pixel artist, and pixel art is really the theme I wanted to go with here, because that's really the retro style. I mean, I play newer games, but a lot of them are related to retro games or descendants thereof, and I like to go back and play those older games so you can feel where it came from, and so the simpler games back then. It's like there's a lot going on in 14 compared to like 4. So well, I guess there's a lot going on in any MMO compared to a non-MMO. I guess that's a bad comparison. Well, compare 4 to like 12 or 9, even 9. That was like the last one before it became too complex. Just a moment, please. Okay, that's something that actually hasn't happened before. Well, I wasn't able to finish my story about what was going on with the pixel stuff, but we have run into a situation. Uh, Apparently, the real world beckons. I am my current position requires me to, well, not requires me. I am actually in the on-call rotation, and that was an on-call call. So I need to go contact some people and such. I hate to leave just a half hour into this, but we'll put it in do not and be right back, and I'll see if I can contact the location and see if this is something that can be handled uh, remotely in any way. Because, well, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. This could be a, but if it's not, unfortunately, I will be on the road, and I guess I could stream audio from my travels down there and continue talking about Comic Con and the Pixel stuff, but that might be a bit beyond my capability to do well. So what I'm gonna do here is I want to have a seat by this tree, and I'm going to make some phone calls. And if I can't wrap this up in a few minutes, I guess we will stop streaming and pick it up later tonight. But if you've been listening, I thank you for listening. If you listen to this later, uh, you'll probably already know how this ends because you'll know if there's a second stream for today or if this one starts up again. And or this one continues, I suppose. But so I guess with your knowledge of the future, uh, hopefully you'll be able to work through this. So we're going to be right back, and I will maybe be back shortly. Okay, sorry for that being away for a few minutes, about 10, 12. Turns out that I actually have to go do adult things and work right now. so, so yeah, I mean that's what they pay me for. I'm paid to be on call, so it's my responsibility to go handle it. Plus, in the field I'm in, I'm glad to help. It's always nice to help people. That's last job was a little bit more fame, a lot more stress. Didn't feel as morally fulfilling though. This one, uh, don't tell the boss, but kind of happy. Doesn't mean I don't want raises though. I mean, if you got to tell the boss something, tell him I'll definitely take the money. But as far as being able to sleep at night, no problem. Definitely like helping people in what I'm doing. So I gotta go. I'm gonna make myself somewhat presentable to the public, and not that I'd ever do a stream in less than full regalia, uh, and head on out and do some work. So I guess the stream's gonna end here now, and we're going to pick it up later, later this evening, uh, and I'll continue my story from I guess finding the pixel artist and how I told them what we wanted for the channel. And of course, if anybody wants to actually throw some input on that, you're welcome to join Discord or send me some DMs on Twitch for ideas you would have for a good retro channel with a Final Fantasy theme to it. So, I guess everybody have a good afternoon, and I will be back later. Bye.